Hey guys, my name is Chantel. Welcome back to my channel and thanks for hanging out with me today. So today we are going to talk about Idolish7 Third Beat episode 19. So let's go ahead and get this ball rolling because I know I'm a week late, but let's just get right into it. So basically Kujo ends up telling Ten that he will now sing solo and that he will produce him since Trigger is no longer here. It's no longer an obstacle for Ten, that he will now sing solo and has basically a contract ready for him, which is just crazy to me. And which I'll talk about a little bit because it basically shifts between Ten and Kujo to Idolish7. So let's go ahead and talk about Idolish7 and their first anniversary concert, shall we? So with Idolish7's concert, we basically get to see the boys getting ready for it. And we see all these flowers that they received from all these people that support them. But the one flower that catches attention to the group is the one that has no name. And it looks like it was sent by Trigger just based on like the colors and the flowers. And I'm just like, ugh. Like it hit me in the feels, you guys. And then obviously by the boys' faces, you can tell like they feel bad. They want to do something for Trigger. But at the same time, they have to go out and continue doing what they love and sing for their fans and, you know, make them happy for and during the time that they're gonna all be together. Which actually ends up motivating Riku and says that he's gonna do his best and keep his promise to his fans. And right before they go on stage, Yamato ends up giving like this really big nice speech about how they've gone through all these things and trials along the way, and how they're always going to get back up and start over again and again and again if they fall back down. And to me, it was just like, oh, like, you guys, stop. Like, it was making me emotional because I can't help but think about Trigger and what they're going through right now. And how, you know, even though right now they're down in the dumps, that I know that they're going to get back up again. Just like Idolish7 has gone back up again several times. Anyway, they end up singing Monster Generation, and while they're singing this, we actually hear Riku talking about how he's wondering how Ten is and how he used to be asking back in the day, like when he would watch Ten on TV, asking like where he is or how he is, what's he doing. But now he's the one on stage and Ten is the one watching from the sidelines this time. And now it's Ten looking for a place to sing, but even then Riku says that no matter what, Ten will always be his star. And he mentions how like everyone's voices provide support for him and that he felt like he could do anything. And in that moment we start hearing only Riku's voice in Monster Generation, which was wild to me. I was just like, oh shit. But that also like makes me see like Riku is just in it. He is in his own little world. He's at his best right now, and he's using all of this that's happening right now as motivation and to continue pulling through. And of course the fans also take notice of this and they're like, wow, Riku is performing the best that he's ever performed. Like something's different about him. So people are like taking notice of this. And I love that we get to see a glimpse of Ten watching the concert and he looks so proud of Riku. I'm just like, stop. Like this is such a cute little moment right there. But of course, we get back into the whole situation about Ten and Kujo wanting him to go solo. So while all this is happening, Gaku and Ryu are already trying to move in together. They're just waiting on Ten to get there, and they're like, huh, he's a little late. That's a little odd for Ten. I wonder if he's okay. And again, we switch back to Kujo and Ten, to where Kujo wants him to sign a contract with him so they can already get things rolling. But of course, Ten refuses and he's like, no, I want to continue with Trigger. And this just makes Kujo go into a huge meltdown. And he's basically going off on Ten. And he's just like, how could you do this? You're betraying me. You said you would never leave me. You promised that you would do this for me. And of course, Ten just lets him like say what he wants. And then he goes and tries to comfort him, and he's just like, no, you misunderstand me. Me wanting to be with Trigger is proof that I'm not going to leave you, because I'm not going to abandon Trigger. And if I did abandon Trigger, that would just be a testament of me later on in the future leaving you like you're saying right now. But because I want to stick with Trigger, it just shows you my determination and that I won't take the easy way out. And I think the crazy thing is, to me, that Kujo had said while he was in his meltdown, by the way, that I just remembered, was when he said that that was the reason that he adopted Ten, was that so Ten wouldn't escape him. And I thought that was so creepy and so spooky. Like, it gave me chills. I was just like, oh, that's not good. Like, this man, Kujo, is not mentally well. I feel like the more we see of him, the more we really get to see, like, this man is not right in the head and he needs help. And I hope Ten leaves that. But at the same time, I can see why Ten won't, because this man is crazy and someone needs to put him in his place and make sure he doesn't do anything crazy. So I can see why Ten is staying and stuff. But, you know, especially because he doesn't want other people to end up like Haruka and Aya and stuff like that. So he's just kind of protecting other people from Kujo. But in the end, he's sacrificing himself, and that is just so sad to me, you know? Anyways, you guys, so this actually ends up with Kujo telling him, like, hey, all right, I'll let you do this, but you have to promise me one thing. And that is that no matter the situation or circumstances, and even if somebody was dying, if it's Trigger or your own brother, you need to be up on that stage and give it your all. And I'm just like, ooh, like, I feel like for some reason this, like, the way that he said this, I feel like there's probably gonna come a day where Ten is gonna have to choose, and he's probably gonna, you know, keep his word with Kujo, but then it's gonna turn into regret for Ten, which like, that just makes me a little bit scared, you know, and it makes me just a little anxious, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm just like, oh, I hope Ten doesn't regret any of his choices later. Like, so far we know that he doesn't right now, but, you know, you never know in the future. Anyway, after that, Ten actually finally arrives to Ryunosuke's house, where they will now be all living together as a group, both Ryunosuke, Ten, and Gaku as a group, just until they're able to get back on their feet and go back to Yatome Productions. And I really love how they celebrate this, and they're like, you know, we're always going to do everything that we can, and we'll always start over again and again and again. I was just like, oh, my boys, yes, like, you guys can do this, you guys will make it out of this. Anyways, you guys, let's move on to the next thing that I want to discuss, which is Momo and Mitsuki. So they are basically talking in the bathroom, and it looks like they're trying to discuss some sort of plan to, you know, develop and just make it happen right then and now while they're at work. And they're basically making it seem like they're getting into an argument of some sort. And while this is all happening, Ryo-san actually gets to see it all happening. And I think that was the main focus, was to have Ryo-san, like, see that this is happening and see that they're having troubles and stuff like that, to make it believable, but especially, like, within the industry. And funny enough is that this other person was on the phone talking, and they pass Ryo-san and they make sure that Ryo-san is, like, out of the way, out of, like, ear's length, and they're talking in code. And that's when we actually get to see that it was Yuki that they were talking. So he's a part of their modern Chiba Day salon. So I was like, oh, interesting, that's interesting. So they're already getting the ball rolling, and we actually get to see Yuki. He's, like, out in the wilderness, and he's talking to somebody. I forgot who this person was, but it looks like he was in charge of Friends Day. To which Yuki goes and tries to convince him, like, hey, like, if you guys air Friends Day now, it's gonna fail miserably because of everything that Zool is and the impact that they have right now. And what I want you to do and promise us is that you will protect us and keep us safe. To which the guy mentions how, like, if this all ends up backfiring and failing, this is gonna make Rivale look bad and they're gonna end up just like Trigger. To which Yuki replies, like, that's fine, we can just start over again, like we did before. And I'm just like, oh, like that hit me so much in the feels because, you know, what we saw last season, the old Rivale and now the new Rivale, and it's just like, like that hit me so hard. I was just like, damn it, y'all are trying to make me emotional this week. Which, by the way, one thing that I forgot to mention about Momo is that while they're in the bathroom, like him and Mitsuki, he does mention how they have to do this because he doesn't want what happened to Ryunosuke to Mitsuki. He says like he would rather do anything else than see that happen again. And it's just like, oh, my baby boy. Like, he's trying so hard to protect his underlings and everyone that he loves and cares about. So yeah, just Momo is just such a great character, and I freaking love him. Like, he is such a caring person overall, and he will fight tooth and nail for them. Anyway, so moving on, it looks like Ryo-san unfortunately probably has an idea what Momo is up to because he's able to look at his rabbit chat and everything else, and it's just like, fudge. Like, this just looks so bad, and I'm just like, God damn it. Like, here's the thing. While I was watching this, it made me think of two things. I'm like, either Momo is really good right now at fooling Ryo-san and he knows that he's looking into his stuff and he's faking all this, or he has no idea and this is all gonna blow up in his face. And I'm really scared that it's gonna blow up in his face, so I'm just like, not gonna lie, a little anxious because this is my boy Momo, and also I don't want anyone else to end up like Trigger, so this just makes me really anxious, you guys. Anyway, so now let's go ahead and discuss Trigger. So the boys actually meet up with Ana Sanagi at a cafe to discuss what their next game plan is and what they're gonna do. And they decide that their next goal is MOP. And in order to get into MOP, they have to get people to start talking about them again. So with this, they actually end up meeting with Banri to see their venue options and see what they can do. But each little venue that they go up and see comes with consequences. So it's not looking really, really good at this point, and they can't, rent a bigger venue because everything is booked out 6 months in advance. So it's kind of like, what do these boys do? Everything looks a little bit hopeless, and everything has a negative effect, especially because it's Trigger. They have a big audience. People are going to talk no matter what. And funny enough, Ten actually ends up asking Banri, like, what exactly did Idolish7 do back then? And Banri replies, like, oh, well, they had little venues, but they also used to do street performances. So this actually gets, like, a little bit of a moment where they're like, maybe we could do street performances. But again, it also has its consequences and just negative effects as well. So there's plenty of stuff to worry about. And while they're trying to decide what to do and they're, again, like feeling down, a fan actually notices Trigger and she comes up to them and tells them like how she supports them and how she was really, really, really worried about them. And how she was worried that they weren't going to be singing again, but seeing them together reassured her, like, that this isn't over. And of course the boys reassure her and they're like, no, we're not going anywhere. We're doing everything that we can. We're fighting tooth and nail, and we promise you we will be back on stage and to sing, and we will not make you guys anxious or worry ever again. And we're so, so sorry about that. Which I feel like this fan was also a trigger to helping the boys get motivation. And it's funny because Ten actually ends up asking Ana Sanagi, like, what is a true idol? And she replies with, they are dreams that never end. But that's also really hard because making a never-ending dream is really, really difficult. To which Ana Sanagi finally makes a decision that the boys are going to become street performers. And funny enough, we actually get a glimpse towards the ending after the end song plays, is that we see Trigger getting ready in the car and Gaku is basically worried that they're gonna cause a panic. And Ana Sanagi says, like, no, it's probably gonna be the opposite, and to prepare for people to start talking and just for things to go south, basically. And I love this because we get to see basically glimpses of the music video of what was it, Daybreak Interlude, I believe is the name of it. So I have actually seen Daybreak Interlude, but I just didn't know the context of it. I just thought that it was kind of weird, like seeing Trigger do all this. But I just thought like that was just a creative thing that, you know, they wanted to do for a music video. I don't know. But seeing the context out of it now, I'm just like, well, damn. Like, I was like, well, shit. Like, I completely missed the mark on that. Like, it just makes me sad now, you know? So, yeah, so that's where the episode ends. And I'm going to go ahead and, you know, try and write down my thoughts for the new episode this week, episode 20, and try to get that out as quickly as possible for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my thoughts for this week's episode, or last week's episode, I should say. I know it was really, really, really short and brief, but yeah, I'm trying to get through these and try, you know, to get these discussions out to you guys, because I know how much you guys love them, and I love, you know, recording these every week or whenever I can. So yeah, anyways, you guys, I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy out there, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!